proposed federal budget announced this week, President Trump calls for the hiring of 500 new Border Patrol agents and 1,000 new Immigration and Customs Enforcement personnel. That's just a fraction of the 15,000 new hires he's pledged within those agencies as part of what he once called a deportation force to combat illegal immigration. Some of the strongest pushback to President Trump's posture toward undocumented immigrants is coming from the Catholic Church. For our Sunday Spotlight, Jacob Soboroff visited a church in Los Angeles that's preparing families for a knock on the door.
Here at this church in South El Monte, California, every night at 7 p.m. there's a Catholic Mass, but tonight they're doing something a little bit different. So, Lucy, this is you?
Yes, it is.
And so, my Spanish is not very good, but I think the translation here is prepare your family for an encounter with immigration.
Correct.
So, that's what's happening here tonight.
That's what's happening here tonight.
Lucy Boutte works for the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. Part of her job these days is to train parishioners how not to get deported by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE.
How many people are at risk of an encounter with ICE?
Anybody that looks like this is at risk because they're stopping everybody, you know?
That's a lot of people in Los Angeles.
Tell me about it, yes.
Los Angeles, like the state of California, is majority minority. That means there are now officially more Latinos here than any other ethnic group. LA's also home to the second biggest population of undocumented people, over 1 million, and the biggest Catholic archdiocese with over 4 million worshipers in the United States. I met Anna Cordova at the training session here, and while she's a U.S. citizen, neither of her parents are.
You're 13. Why'd you show up here?
It's difficult to picture a life without your life. You know, my mom and dad have always been here for me, and they're literally the world to me, and I wouldn't like to imagine a world without them.
You came here tonight to learn what?
To learn what happens when someone gets deported and how to hide or talk your way out of it.
Open the door. This is ICE.
Skits like this, acting out ICE showing up at a home, is one of the ways the church is teaching people how not to get deported. And the scene playing out here in South El Monte has and will continue to repeat itself in many of the Archdiocese's 300 churches. The church's training is guided by this 50-plus page official document that in English and Spanish instructs immigrants what to do if you encounter ICE at home, in public, or at work, how to establish a child care plan in case of arrest, and to present authorities with this card explaining the right to remain silent.
It's a beautiful church.
Jose Gomez is the Archbishop of Los Angeles, the man in charge of the nation's largest Catholic archdiocese.
Your archdiocese is going church to church with this document that says preparing your family for immigration enforcement. Why? How come?
I've been talking about stopping the deportations for a long time because it's breaking families and it's destroying the lives of people.
Is the church encouraging undocumented people to break the law by avoiding ICE?
No, we are not. We are just teaching our people what are the rights in a situation like that. But we are encouraging them to respect the laws.
President Trump ran successfully on a hardline immigration stance, including the deportation of all 11 million undocumented immigrants here. His administration insists the president's executive order on immigration enforcement targets those who've committed crimes.
You guys go to school here?
Yeah.
Right here?
3 days after meeting Anna at her church's training session, she invited me back to South El Monte to meet her undocumented mom and siblings. One of the things driving fears in this community are rumors of roadside checkpoints.
The checkpoint is like 2 street lights from here.
Up that way.
Yeah.
And so what does that do? Like, how do people feel? What are people saying?
We don't come out. That's why we're kind of, in our shells.
You stay home.
Yes. Stay home.
Do you see what you're doing here in Los Angeles as a conflict with the Trump administration?
No, we've been doing this for a long time, as I said before, with the Obama administration and now with the Trump administration, because we want the undocumented people to really be part of our society.
You think the Pope would like this plan?
I think so, yeah. I'm sure that he does. I talked to him several times, and he's always encouraging me to help people in whatever they need.
And Jacob Soboroff joins me now live. Jacob, good to see you. I know what the Trump White House thinks, and a lot of Americans think that the church is helping people who are breaking the law. But what is the official position of the Vatican about what the Archdiocese of LA is doing?
And I should be explicit, the church in LA as well wants to see violent criminals deported. But the Vatican, they're basically saying they're doing this in the image of what the Pope has said. And the Pope has said many times, including in a tweet again yesterday, he wants to see people build bridges, not walls. I think we can guess who the Pope is talking about there.
So some tacit support, perhaps, from the Vatican there.
There you go.
Jacob.